Okay, recording has begun. So thank you for joining us today at JALT International 2020 Conference. Please welcome Hidayat Polim, who will be presenting Teaching Practicum in Batam, Indonesia. Please go ahead.
Thank you. So good evening, everyone, all the participants in this JALT conference. So today I would like to present about teaching practicum preparation in Indonesia. And I have the pre-recorded video that I would like to share. All right, so let's get started. Related to part of my research thesis last year. The title is Teaching Practicum Preparation in Batam, Indonesia. But first, let me go through the terminology that I use in this presentation. So the first is pre-service teachers. They are student teachers who are studying in an English teacher education program and would like to pursue teaching as their career. And then we have in-service teachers who are graduates of the teacher education program and currently working as teachers. And we have classroom supervisors who are teachers at school where the practicum is conducted. And then we have practicum supervisors, which means the university lecturer who supervises the student teacher in their teaching practicum program at the university. So first, let me share the outline of the presentation. So we'll start with introduction and then go through the literature review, context of the study, research question, methodology, result and discussions, and then educational implications, limitation and recommendations, as well as conclusions. And I hope we had a bit of time for question and answer sessions. So let's get started. Fostering prospective teachers is at the heart of teacher education. So today I would like to share the beginning part of my whole research on teaching practicum in Batam. This is an interesting part as which is to take a look at the teacher education, specifically in terms of preparation prior to the teaching practicum. Richards and Newman mentioned that teaching practicum has long been viewed as an essential part in the journey of pre-service teacher. So let's take a look at the previous studies on pre-service teachers education. What is pre-service teacher education? Based on Richards, so it is a program designed for a prospective teacher to learn basic or theoretical knowledge, methods, and approaches to teaching. So this is a foundation to be a professional teacher. And within the program, they have the teaching practicum program. Basically, it is a field teaching experience. So based on Bernavidi, teaching practicum is a platform for student teachers to implement their knowledge and to learn directly from their teaching. So if we take a look at the aspect of teaching practicum, it is one of the most critical area for the pre-service teacher journey. So it should be taken into careful planning and careful execution. And previous research, that's why I suggested that the coursework in the university should be designed in line with the real teaching circumstances based on Matthew and Go and Matthew. So there's some issues they found in the previous research. From Nielsen mentioned that there is misalignment occasionally happens between knowledge that pre-service teachers had learned and the actual teaching in the practicum. And as well, Risky and Ragavanti mentioned that most of the pre-service teachers, they face or encounter problems related to student behaviors. So this research suggested that pre-service teachers should be given more opportunity to prepare and to learn about how to manage students and manage the classroom. And Marzano and Pickering also mentioned that the course there is no specific course in the teaching practicum that specify for the social skill and improving the social skill of the pre-service teachers. So from then, let's take a look at the context of this study. So the study was conducted in Indonesia. Have anyone been to Indonesia? So if we take a look at the map, Indonesia is pretty similar to Japan, both comprised of islands, and also the use of English is pretty similar because we use English as a foreign language. And however, in Indonesia, we are actually more diverse, that we have more than 300 local languages spoken. And in addition to that, Indonesia is the world's fourth most populous country and the largest economy in Southeast Asia, according to the World Bank. So in this context of the study, the research took place in a unique setting of a private university in Batam Island. So Batam Island is located in the triangle of Indonesia, Singapore, and Malaysia, which made it a strategic location for the development of this area, including the increasing importance of the use of English, which means that there is a need for the effective and proper English teacher education in Batam Island. So let's take a look at the content of the study. In this study where I conducted the research, so the research was conducted in the University of Riau Kepulauan, or Unwika University in Batam. So the English teacher education in this university has been established since 2006. It's comprised of 4-year undergraduate program. And then the curriculum, actually in Indonesia, the national curriculum helps to guide the operationalization of the teacher education program. But every single institution, they have their own rights to develop independent curriculum. For the teaching practicum, or known as Program Pengalaman Lapangan, or PPL, it is a required course and comprised of 14 classes in the 7th semester. And the student need to meet the minimum requirement of 118 out of 148 credits to be eligible for the course. And they are going to teach at the junior or senior high school level across Batam Island. And now let's take a look at the statement of the problem. So based on the previous research, that there is a misalignment occasionally happens between practicum, between the preparation or the pre-practicum period and the actual teaching. So I would like to find out more about this, and there have been several studies conducted to explore teacher education in Indonesia. However, in the context of Batam, despite its status as a metropolitan city, it's pretty difficult, hardly to find the relevant research related to the teaching practicum. So based on that, I formulated the research question, which comprised of 2 questions. Here, the first one: what courses or programs do help to prepare pre-service teachers for their teaching practicum? And the second question: what are the important aspects needed to be emphasized in the preparation for teaching practicum by research participants? So now let's take a look at the research methodology. So in order to answer the research question, qualitative research methodology based on summary structure interviews were conducted to collect information related to participants' experiences, courses, and their expectation on the preparation of the teaching practicum. So participants of this research were from multiple groups. Pre-practicum, they are students from the 6th semester and preparing for the practicum. And then post-practicum students who just have completed the teaching practicum and now in the 8th semester. And then we have in-service teachers, practicum supervisors, and classroom supervisors. So those are the participants, and in total there are 43 interviewees for this research. And the data from the interviews were audio recorded and analyzed based on the coding and deductive approach. And as the transcription were read and analyzed, two main relevant categories emerged. And I'm gonna talk about that in the result and discussion part. So the first one is preparation courses before teaching practicum. So actually the current practice of the teacher education program has actually provided relevant courses to equip students or pre-service teachers toward their teaching practicum. And the data analysis revealed at least 4 categories of courses that have been found relevant and impactful for the teaching practicum. This includes micro-teaching, which was highly regarded with the greatest number of responses. And then the course is designed to be a practical course similar to teaching practicum. And the second one, we have curriculum and material development. In this course, a student learn about the lesson planning and curriculum design. And in the third part, there are other related courses which comprise of teaching profession, where the student learn about the ethics of teaching. And then we have student teaching English as a foreign language, where the students learn the teaching strategy and methods as well as preparation of teaching. And then the last one, speaking and writing. So those are very basic course which mentioned by few interviewees that help them to improve their speaking and their reading and help them in the teaching practicum. So those are the courses that they took for credit. The last one is a non-credit course. So this is the course that run by the English Department Student Association. So they have the association within the students, and they did the field project, which basically they teach English fortnightly in an orphanage. And through this, students can learn about teaching directly, and they do this as a volunteer, and it's really helpful for them to like get used to the atmosphere to meet with the kids. Okay, and then the current preparation, based on what I analyzed, that there are multiple courses already available, and however, when they entered the teaching practicum, they found and they faced real classroom teaching, and various issues occur, whether it's their limitation of skill or unpredictable circumstances. So this was in line in the with Nelson, who found that there's irrelevancy concerning the knowledge that they gain in the university and also the requirement that they need to have in the classroom setting. So some pre-service teachers were unfamiliar with the curriculum of the school. They can use their classroom language well, and they can deal with the expected student behavior. So this condition actually doesn't mean that the anticipation is impossible, but rather that the institution and the school can actually dig deeper for the creativity and like help them to improve and well prepared before the teaching practicum. So they have take the efforts to do it, like through the English Department Student Association or EDSA, but I think in this case the issues remain unsolved, as there are various aspects that need to be strengthened. So let's take a look at the second category of this research. So here it is, the essential aspect for preservice teachers to be addressed. There are plenty of them. I can write 7 in this presentation. So the first one is social skill, and then we have self-confidence, classroom management, language skills, lesson planning, task and responsibility as practicum teachers, as well as classroom observation. So due to that time, I would like to mention 3 of them in more detail. The first is social skill. If we take a look at this is the excerpt from the interviews. So the interviewees mentioned that the teaching practicum really like an actual work, so they have to maintain a good relationship between teacher and student, and also to from teacher to with other teachers. So it's actually they emphasize the importance of social skill within the teaching practicum, and they should be well prepared toward their teaching practicum in terms of social skill, which actually been previously said that social skill is a part of the goals in the teaching practicum by Richard and Crooks and Risky, and Mazzano et al. Mentioned that social skills has been given little attention in the teacher education. So that's for the first part, and the second part is classroom management. So student teachers found and encounter various issues. So sometimes they found that the students do not have a good attitude, and due to that they couldn't apply the lesson plan that they have made. So this really made a big issues, as the previous study also mentioned that teachers had to spend more time dealing with student behavior by Risky. And Ragavanti mentioned that the biggest issues in the classroom is also to disciplinize student behavior or related to classroom management. So this aspect should be given a really highlight for the teacher education preparation. So that's the classroom management. Now let's take a look at the classroom observation. So observation is actually one of the most important thing in the preparation, but in its implementation, 9 out of 10 post-practicum participants asserted that the observation was insufficient. So some pre-service teachers didn't have any observation prior to the teaching practicum, and that's why it should be like reviewed and also been implemented properly. So this is really irrelevant with suggestion from Gebhardt 2009, which mentioned that teaching practicum should involve systematic observation, which really help the teacher prepare to carry a full teaching load. So based on this discussion, we can take a look at few of takeaways or benefit that we can put into the teacher education. So the first educational implication related to pre-service teachers. So in individual level, pre-service teachers should actually strengthen their own skill. Like they should be innovative, they should be creative, and they should really learn how to present, how to communicate well, and also give instruction in English. They learn how to use the classroom language, for example, and this really helped them. And as well as they might need to get more experience in teaching outside, even outside the campus. For example, as what they did, like teaching at the orphanage, they should be able to do that more intense, and that I think that could help to build their confidence and their teaching skill as well. And then practicum supervisor. So for practicum supervisor and classroom supervisor, they actually should communicate really comprehensively and to give a mutual understanding. So for example, classroom supervisors should be able to share the information of what they want from the pre-service teacher who gonna do the teaching at the classroom in the school. So they can actually share the information about the syllabus, about the students, the current curriculum that they use. So that's kind of helpful. And the pre-service teacher as well will understand and will build their confidence in the teaching later on. So those are at the individual level. Now for the university and school partners, so there should be an evaluation for the current practice, and in this aspect means that both the university administrators and school administrators, as well as practicum supervisors and classroom supervisors, should be able to looking back at the practicum guidelines that they have, and then really do the procedure based on what they have planned. And the monitoring of this is pretty essential, that they should have the checklist for every step that they would like to do, and they can track the record afterwards. And lastly, for the policymakers and curriculum developer. So policymakers actually should be able to note and put the right schedule of the course into the curriculum of the university. So, for example, the practicum supervisor and pre-service teachers, they have the consultation time, but they don't have exact schedule for the consultation. So they just do it online by social media communication. But I think if they put it into the schedule, fixed schedule, there should be like a really in a good way. They can really build their routines and helps the practicum teacher as teacher educator to improve their skill, improve their capability, as well as the pre-service teacher to help them be prepared for the teaching practicum in a better way. So those are all right. So I would like to stop until here. Let me get back. So just give to the chance to maybe have a quick question and answer session. Thank you for everyone who has been here. Okay, let me send the presentation slide. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Glad to see everyone in here. Miss Alison, so
yeah, can I ask you a question?
Thank you so much. Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really interested in your topic. I teach at a private university in Japan, and in the English department, and about half of my students are also doing a teaching license. So as part of that, they do a 3-week teaching practicum in a junior high school or high school. In fact, usually it's their own old junior high school or high school. And I'm usually asked to go and observe my students teaching a class at the end of that. I wanted to ask, I've got lots of questions actually, so I need to kind of limit and hold myself back.
Okay.
But how long is the teaching practicum in your context? How long do the students teach in a school?
So they actually have the whole semester. So it's 14 classes, but they do have kind of preparation, like 1 or 2 meeting. But in somehow, I guess there's some difficulties in arranging the schedule, as most of the students in this context are also kind of working students. So they are undergraduate students who are doing work in the afternoon, and the classes are conducted in the evening. So they have to kind of have maybe holiday from their workplace to be able to do the practicum
and in some cases, some students need to postpone maybe another semester because they couldn't get the permission.
Right. I guess every context has its own problems, doesn't it? So I know.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to interrupt here.
Yeah.
Please understand that if you would like to continue talking, there is the hangout room, so you could go there, and Allison could go over there with you, and you can continue the discussion if you like. You can ask as many questions as you want in that place. But we do need to wrap up here. We'd just like to ask people to unmute themselves and or use the reaction button and give a warm applause for Hidayat Polim for his talk.
Thank you so much for everyone. Yes, glad to see everyone here.
Yeah. Okay, so please enjoy the rest of the conference, and you can continue the discussion
in the hangout room.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so it's the Miss Alison, we can get there if you would like to meet.
Okay, thanks, Daniel.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Daniel.